What is going on, my broskies? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. We're inching very close now to the anniversary, and with it, we bring along the medal exchange for the month of May, the anniversary month. So you would think that, considering it's the anniversary month, that the medal exchange was going to provide us with a multitude of various characters that we could pick up, and, you know, would have potential discounts. That would be really cool. But I feel like what they've done with this month's medal exchange is just straight up greedy. And I'm not a big fan of what they've done in this month's medal exchange, which we'll touch up on in just a moment. But it does say in the big red text there, with the addition of level limit breaks, required medals for certain characters have changed. So you would think that that's potentially a good thing, but no, this is actually for the worse. So what they have done is that characters in previous years that have costed like 150 medals, for example, have now been buffed. And not only can you, well, you have to actually cost more to actually pick up these units, but the amount of copies that you can purchase of these units have also been reduced, with the fact that they've also gone up a tier to 250 medals or the 400 medal tier. So I don't really understand what they're doing with this. It's just straight up greed, which is just terrible. I don't really understand what they're doing with the management of this game right now, because it feels like they're trying to do everything in their power to make people not play the game, which is just absurd. I don't know. There's just some very questionable decisions have been made over the past, you know, probably year, to be honest, maybe even longer than that, that really make you question what the hell are they even doing with this game, right? I digress. Let's actually just talk about the medal exchange, right? Celebrating the 9th anniversary of One Piece Treasure Cruise on May 12th, 20 Sugofest exclusive characters will be made available. We'll skip all the way to the bottom first and we'll work our way up. So we've got the World Journey units, which is fine. They're always typically here. The World Clash units are also here once again. We do have the powerful support medal characters. I don't remember if these have actually changed at all, but definitely Strength Jozu, very good. Pudding is useful. Kuma is useful. Robin is good, but like, remember, these are generic rare recruits that are pullable on every Sugofest ever. And another thing as well to keep in mind, the anniversary Sugofest, if you're going to be doing a lot of pulls on that Sugo, you are inevitably going to be pulling these units. So don't get these units unless if you specifically need their support for something. Moving on, we have the special characters. So I like that they're doing this, at least. They're bringing back previously released anniversary characters. So these are special time units that only release during anniversaries. Typically, they're on the Sugofest. We're not too sure if they're going to be on the Sugofest at this point, but if they're not, they're still going to be available here. None of these characters are overly worth it, I would say. There are a couple that are pretty good, though. Like the Chopper, for example, the Strength Chopper. I would suggest picking this guy up. He has a very usable support and a decent special. I think the Nami is also a character you may want to look out for. Also a pretty good support and a good special. And then the Reiju, Shirahoshi, and Rebecca, the three at the top, are also pretty decent too. They've also got good supports and potentially good specials that may be able to help you out. At this current point in time, we don't know if they're going to be releasing more anniversary-focused units. Potentially the Legends, like the anniversary Legends, are just going to be what these types of units are going to be moving forward. But if you are looking to pick up any of these units, all the characters in the top row are actually very good. Now we can start talking about the Sugofest exclusives. So at the 150 medal tier, which you can purchase 3 copies each of, you've got V2 Linlin. I believe this was V2. Yeah, V2 Linlin, which is the dual unit. Marco and Whitebeard, and then as well as Luffy and Ace. Now the really interesting thing here is remember that these are dual units. They don't have super evolutions yet. They don't have level limit breaks. These are characters that eventually will receive level limit breaks and super evolutions, as we've seen with CatDog, Barto Cavendish, and Shanks' crew. Knowing that, if you guys do not have these characters at level limit break 5, this is probably the best opportunity you are going to have to pick up these units to get them maxed out. Now, remember that we are going to be receiving all of those legend tickets for the bounty rewards, so potentially you'll want to wait until you receive those red tickets before you purchase anything in this metal shop, because you may be able to pick up additional copies from those tickets. However, remember, with these characters changing based on when they get level limit breaks, it's going to change the value of the units, which means that these characters that are at the cheap level, you want to pick them up as soon as you can before they will inevitably be bumped up, right? So you want to keep that in the back of your mind. When you move on up to the 250 medal tier, you've got Sober Mask, Luffy, Zoro, and Kaido. This is kind of interesting, to be honest, because, you know, Luffy, Zoro, and also Sober Mask, those two characters actually released together on the same Sugo Fest during one of the New Year celebrations on Japan. And these are characters that don't have super evolutions and level limit breaks yet either. And all of these units, like these three, are some of the most anticipated units to receive super evolutions and level limit breaks. Definitely V1 Kaido. A lot of people are super excited to see what they could potentially do with that, as well as Sober Mask. And Sober Mask, of course, with that very important Captain Action, which is really nuts. And I think that with a super evolution, this unit could go absolutely wild. And the fact that they're in the medal exchange now leads me to believe that these characters are not receiving super evolutions during the anniversary month, which is a bit of a shame because I feel like Kaido or Sober Mask, those are two big ones that people would love to see super evolve. But again, you can only purchase 2 of them each and 250 medals a pop. It is up to your discretion at the end of the day, and as I said, you should probably wait until you get the bounty reward reds before looking at these ones. And now you look at the 400 medal tier, and you can only purchase 1 of these each, and just have a look at some of the characters that they've got available here. Starting from the bottom, V1 Fujitora, like come on bro, come on. Ain't nobody spending 400 medals on Fujitora, and there's just no reason to do this. Like, why are they trying to cash in on these legends that released in 2015, 2016, 2017? Like, these units have been out, right? There's no reason to gatekeep these units behind 400 Sugo medals. That is just ridiculous. There is no reason for this. Just about every character in this tier should be bumped at least 1 tier down, and obviously some of them should be in the 150 medal tier. You got Cat Viper, like, good support, obviously, and that's another reason, right? You're just gatekeeping people behind getting these characters, not only for what the unit is as a unit, but their supports are super useful too. So, yeah, not a fan about that. Strength Sabo, like, absolutely not. Sugar, she was literally free to play in January. Like, what are we doing here? And we could pick up 2 units for free from, what do you call it? From Pirate Rumble. So the fact that this unit is in the medal shop for 400 medals, like, it's just a slap in the face. V2 Doflamingo, I mean, yeah, he's a good unit, especially in Rumble and stuff, but 400 medals is steep. Shiki for 400 medals is a bit of a joke. Legend Jack for 400 medals? Come on, dude. Komurasaki, no, not worth 400 medals. No for Zoro. And Zoro doesn't even have a super evolution yet, the super type one. That unit with a super type, with his super evolution, should I say, and the level limit break, like that deck Zoro is going to be very good eventually. And then the dual Blackbeard, I kind of don't understand why he's on the 400 medal tier either, because not only does he not have a level limit break, he's not even that old of and actually no, he's like 2 years old at this point, right? He's 2 years old, and he's still 400 medals. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Unless if Dual Blackbeard is the unit that is going to super evolve and they want to stop people from getting him to max level limit break as soon as they can. Again, I don't understand the reasonings behind all of this. The fact that King and Queen are both 400 medals is also kind of fascinating, because a lot of people are predicting that the anniversary is going to be King and Queen in some facet, and I do think that that being here is interesting. But for 400 medals, I think King and Queen for 400, I can kind of understand that one a little bit, because King and Queen are actually still very good. Some people might not think so, but realistically speaking, King and Queen are still pretty top tier units. Like, they're pretty strong, and they can hybrid well with a lot of good units in the game. But it's just basically the bottom 2 rows don't make sense. Blackbeard doesn't make sense. Just King and Queen are the only ones that I could kind of see for 400 medals. The rest of them, like, absolutely not. Yeah, just terrible, terrible design decisions behind the medal exchange recently. But then you even go further to the 600 medal tier characters with Sasaki and Kid. It is actually kind of interesting that Kid has been seeing a lot of love recently. Obviously, they released Legend Killer. Then with the pre-anniversary Bait Sugo Fest, like, Kid was one of the headliner units for that, and now he's in the medal exchange as well. Like, they're really pushing this Legend Kid out there. I don't know why, but he's been pretty readily available recently, and he's still probably going to be pullable on the anniversary Sugo Fest as well. So it is odd. And then Sasaki, no, do not purchase Sasaki for 600 medals. Not only is it a unit that basically never sees play in normal content, he's also terrible in Pirate Rumble, he's just not really worth picking up. Kid is very good in Rumble. Kid is a very good unit in normal content. He has Super Tandem, which is, it can be difficult to activate at times, but the Super Tandem effect is pretty good. Sasaki, just there's no redeeming qualities here, at least not for 600 Sugo medals, right? Anyways, that's pretty much all the information I wanted to convey to you guys. Just give you my thoughts and opinions about it, because it just seemed kind of odd when I was looking at the Sugo medal list and just didn't really make a lot of sense. So yeah, hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from in regards to, you know, the feedback for the Sugo medals. And honestly, the only characters that are kind of worthwhile picking up if you don't have them is these anniversary units, because they just never come around that often, and the supports and some of the specials of the units are just kind of interesting. And then, you know, the 150 medals are just, you know, you want to keep a note on that, because if they do receive their super evolutions, you want to get them to level limit break 5. It's kind of important. It makes the units so much better. Like with the 6+ Bato and Cavendish that came out recently, like the unit by itself, like if you don't have the level limit break, is so bad. Well, I wouldn't say it's so bad. Okay, that's probably a bit of a stretch. But the unit is very middle of the road. Just especially the captain ability. The captain ability of the base unit is pretty mid. The special ability is still usable, of course, but then when you get the level limit break 5, you get access to so many more abilities, and that's where it really comes into it. So, you know, getting these new super evolutions to the level limit break 5 is actually kind of important. So we'll have to wait and see how things go moving forward, but that is pretty much all I wanted to talk about in regards to the Sugo medals, because it was just kind of weird, and I really wanted to talk to you guys about it. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and if you guys did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. And that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.